Hello, everyone. Welcome to Spooky Sundays with your hosts, myself, Anne and Renata over there.
Hello.
We are live in the studio at Newcastle Live, and we are going to start our Spooky Sundays radio show very shortly at 8 p.m. And we hope that you can join us. So what we do, just to do a little bit of tantalizing and titillation, we get some live feed happening here. So you guys can watch us in the studio, and then when we get a little bit into the show, we will switch off the live feed, and we ask you to come and join us on either the Newcastle Live app. So it's an app you can download on your phone, and if you do that, there is even the option to text message in during the show if you've got an opinion on what we're talking about, if you've got a question on what we're talking about, if you just want to give a shout out to someone or a paranormal team or your favourite haunted location. Give them a shout out by texting from the app, or you can text on 0490 848886, and I've put that into the comments, and also below our picture there, you'll see Anne and Renata Ghost Granny Spooky Sunday Show text. I've been very technologically clever today. So we've got some interesting things today. I'm doing Renata's favourite segment, the ABC of superstitions. Let's see if she can stay awake during the session tonight. And today we're doing the superstitions of touching dead bodies.
Oh,
Now you'll stay awake for that one, won't you?
I will. That's got me intrigued.
What's your stories tonight, Renata, while I finish eating my cookie?
I'm actually going to be talking about two haunted sites. My news of the week has to do with Macbeth in a roundabout way.
You're not allowed to say that name when performing.
I know, right? And the other one is actually about 30 East Drive, Pontefract. So we can have our argument on air.
Okay.
We can be like, who are the guys in Kiss? What are their names? The ones Jackie O and who's his face?
Kyle and Jackie O. Whose houses we've been in and investigated, mind you.
She just bought a new house. $13 million.
Let's go check that one out for her. See if that one's haunted. Now we do have to go live actually. About now. So we're going to pop our headphones on. Once we're doing this, we'll be concentrating.
We're going to be concentrating.
Yeah, as you can hear, I'm sounding much better than last week.
Hey everyone, let us know where you're watching from, and if you have a paranormal question, send it in please on 0490 848886.
Oh look, the phones are lighting up. I like it when the switchboard's lighting up, or our one phone is lighting up. Thank you. We're streaming to quite a few platforms tonight. If you're on YouTube, Twitter, or Facebook, we will be able to see you come up through here. I'm not sure about Twitter, though. I'm not sure if Twitter pops up through the comments. Be interesting.
So
we've got the music playing. Tonight's music is coming to you from a selection of one of our listeners, which is Lisa. Some I know, some I've never heard of, so it'll be interesting. Now, if you are asking your questions in here, we won't see them. You have to text them through either via the app. Oh, the other thing you can do is you can listen via the website, Newcastle Live website. So, yeah, make sure you come and join us for the rest of the show. I've got an interesting story about the oily man. We're not talking pimples. I'll have to put a trigger warning up before that one.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. I'm doing that the second half of the show. I always do my interesting and challenging ones in the second half, which will be after 9 o'clock. So this show runs from 8 till 10 p.m. Sydney time. Oh. Oh. Random Saver Festival. I like the sound of that.
They can't hear it because you.
I know, I'm telling you about it.
With Rock Whiz is back, they'll be bringing their national tour to the Civic Theatre in Newcastle on Saturday, the 1st of April. To keep up to date with everything happening around Newcastle and the Hunter, hit the gig card on newcastlelive.com.au.
Good evening, my pretties, my beautiful ones, all the people that like the darkness out there. Now I sound like I'm going on a religious bender into hell or something. Anyway, welcome to Spooky Sundays, everyone, brought to you by our beautiful sponsor, Thrive Broking. I'm Anne, and over there, glaring at me already, before we've even started the show, is the delicious and delightful
Renata Daniel, and glaring is my job.
Yes, it is.
Okay, I glare.
Although you were
I glare
super,
and I know things.
You were, and you sense things. You were super happy this morning.
I was.
It was a little bit discombobulating how happy you were before you'd had a coffee.
I know, right?
And we know what that is. There's a little secret thing that somebody sent us to trial.
Yes.
And we'll be announcing that on our True Hauntings podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We'll probably mention it next week as well.
Yes.
Or when I've got to work out when that episode's coming out, because we're trying to get ahead for our Irish UK trip, which is now 8 weeks away.
Mm-hmm. And we're looking desperately for haunted places to stay and haunted places to investigate.
Yes.
Prices are exorbitant.
But look, what we are going to try to do this time, and we've already had a heated discussion.
It's been a heated discussion.
Leading up into the show, because we were considering hiring a place because we want to investigate it just on our own. We just want to be there and run an investigation without trying to entertain. We just want the cameras off, apart from what we're recording for the investigation. And of course, we'll put it up onto YouTube later. But I had made a suggestion of 30 East Drive, Pontefract, which we have been to before. And it was part of a tour group. So we were there with 20 other people. And they ran a marvellous tour. They were lovely, delightful people. It was a nice night. But it's when you're like not a dabbler into the ghost hunting world, you are a professional, if there is such a thing. You just want to have the place with no contamination and just in its pure essence, so you can try to eke out activity. And I saw Alison from Haunted Horizons doing a live the other day where she had a doll sitting on the stairs at 30 East Drive. And this is the Black Monk of Pontefract. And we did do a podcast on it on True Hauntings. Now, this doll, all of a sudden, not long after she had said, there's a doll on the stairs, maybe you want to push that or something, the doll tumbled down the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
And she was quite amazed. But it is £300 to hire it for one night.
Yep.
And then you just casually announced to me that you have a story about the Pontefract house tonight.
Yep. You know the only reason I go to the Pontefract house?
Why?
To hang out outside and see if anyone comes and starts to bang on the doors. That's really.
Now, look, we did do the podcast on it, and as I said, I do believe that there was something going on at the time that the family was living there.
Yes.
I'm dubious if there's anything happening now, and if there is anything happening, I think it's been created by either the energy of the people that are coming into the location with their thought processes,
Mm-hmm.
or it's people that are providing an activity, and I do that with my fingers in the air doing the inverted commas to create the myth that there is still activity there. Yes, it's a bit dodgy, but I don't know. Does anyone else out there know of a place in the United Kingdom that we can hire that's not exorbitant? I would consider it for £300, but it's still a lot of money. It's almost $600 for us for one night. But we wouldn't have to get accommodation for the night. We could sleep there.
Do you know what sort of accommodation you'd get for $600?
Shut up! It wouldn't be haunted. We wouldn't have a whole house with a coal cellar.
Oh,
Come on.
I've been in that coal cellar.
You have, and you actually got the EPGBs.
To be convinced.
All right.
I'm
Do you have
convinced.
a paranormal story for us tonight, Renata?
I do.
Well, please tell me.
All right. Now this goes back to Shakespeare
Oh,
and
jeez.
and Macbeth. That whole thing about not being able to say Macbeth when you are about to go on stage.
Yes, I'm being a theatre person myself.
Yeah. So why is that? What's the story about that?
If you say that particular word, it's like saying the F word, which we had trauma with that on Saturday.
Yeah.
Thank you. That things will go wrong because there has been a run of where people have said that word backstage and trauma has followed. People have died on stage or broken legs or, the show's flopped or something. So it's just become associated now with that. And you just don't say that word backstage.
Right. Okay. Well, everyone hang on to their hats because I'm going to say it at least once here.
Well, we're not about to perform on stage, so it should be fine. It's the other word I don't want you to say.
So a Scottish castle that's famous for its connection to Shakespeare is less well known for having a ghost that's believed to wander the passageway without hands.
Oh, is it the back passage?
No, this particular ghost has no hands.
Oh.
So paranormal enthusiasts will be keen to visit Cawdor Castle near Nairn due to the tragic presence of a woman who, according to legend, fell to her death from one of the towers. Now, there's a reason she fell to her death. Let's just say it wasn't an accident.
Oh,
Right.
foul play.
So for Shakespeare fans, Cawdor Castle will be familiar due to, here's that word, Macbeth, with the character Thane of Cawdor, although the link is fictitious. History buffs will likely know the real-life Macbeth lived long before the castle was constructed, and the Thane of Cawdor title did not exist during his lifetime. Nonetheless, Cawdor Castle's link to one of the most famous plays of all time has made it a popular tourist destination. Now, this is in Scotland. Can we go there and just say Macbeth, 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 Macbeth 50,000 times?
Only if you let me go to the 30th Drive contract.
Oh, God. How about no? Right, sorry. The real-life castle was constructed around the 15th century tower house that originally belonged to Clan Cawdor before being passed to the Campbells.
Oh, you've got to watch the Campbells.
In the
They make a mean soup.
16th century. Today, Clan Campbell remained in control of Cawdor Castle. So among the castle's most interesting features is that it is said to have been built around a holly tree that remains at the castle to this day. Now, legend states that Thane of Cawdor decided on a site to construct the fortress based on where a donkey with gold tied to its back laid down to rest, and it chose a spot underneath the tree. Now, as many castles, Cawdor has its own spooky tales.
Please tell us the spooky tales, Renata.
Yes, well, this is all about a lady called Muriel. Now, Muriel...
Hello, Muriel.
Oh.
I do like Muriel.
See, one story says it's a holly tree, but in actual fact, if you go deeper into history, it's a hawthorn tree, because there's an actual room called the Hawthorn Room. And if you go down to the Hawthorn Room, which is kind of downstairs, there is the remnants of a tree still standing, which they say is the tree that the castle was built around. But it is a holly tree, not a hawthorn tree. Originally, it was a hawthorn tree.
So it has little red earrings?
No, well, whatever it is now, it's probably plastic because it died.
So I just whacked a plastic one in there.
It died. It says modern scientific analysis has revealed that the tree died in 1372, presumably through being deprived of light after the construction of the castle. But it still kind of is there. I don't know what they've done, whether they've put a plastic one in to delight the tourists or whatever. And
Look, Mummy, it's a real hobby tree.
It has magical properties which have on numerous occasions saved the castle from disaster.
Oh, the plastic one.
Well, yeah. Now, there's a ghost. The ghost's name is Muriel.
Hi, Muriel.
Now, there are two stories. Muriel was kidnapped as a child and forced into marriage to Sir John Campbell of Argyll. Now, she was only like 6 or something.
Wow.
Yeah, weird like that. And yeah, got married. And the other one is that Muriel actually fell in love with the
Not John.
Campbell guy. And her father was furious when he found out that she actually loved him, because these were warring clans.
Oh,
and to have his daughter,
Juliet.
to have his daughter fall in love with someone from who they were supposed to hate. And as she was attempting to climb down from the window in the tower, because he put her in the tower to escape, he chopped off both her hands with his sword and sent her plummeting to her death. Now, this is why there is a ghost wearing a blue velvet dress, and she has been sighted in the castle by various witnesses, and she is the one that is seen wandering around without any hands.
Wow.
Yes.
Geez, they were rough in those days.
I know. Now, in Shakespeare's play, Macbeth encounters 3 witches who prophesy that Macbeth will be Thane of Glamis, Thane of Cawdor, and lastly the king.
And we apologise for our pronunciations.
What's it, Thane?
Could be Tane. We don't know because they call it the Thames with TH. I don't know.
Oh, it could be.
We're just Australians. We botch it.
The truth is that Macbeth died some 130 years before the title Thane, Tane, Thany, whatever you like, Cawdor. Thany. I'm covering all bases.
Thane.
And over 300 years before the first stone was laid at Cawdor Castle. The reality is that Macbeth had no connections with Cawdor at all, other than in Shakespeare's play.
It's a bit like Vlad.
Yes.
Vlad's been everywhere in Romania.
Because he was mentioned in one of the most famous plays known to everyone in the theatre. People now head to that castle to be part of that ambience.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. To feel it.
But there are a number.
How many times are you going to say that?
There are a number of ghosts within the castle itself, and it pays to go there to get in touch with those entities.
Yeah, and look, we have the first award for tonight. Well and truly the first, because they texted through last night. And Maxine, you have the first award for the text through tonight. Well done. So, all right. I'm sort of in this conundrum with this whole, I just want to investigate somewhere on our own, Renata. I know that we've lined up 2 locations in Ireland, and I should be happy.
Yes, you should.
Should be happy, but I want more. I'm watching all these YouTubers that are out there, and they get the location all to themselves. And I was saying to Renata, even if we book a room for ourselves, because there is one haunted pub we've decided we're going to go to.
Yes.
And we have to book that soon so we don't miss out.
Yeah.
And we're doing a podcast on it. Well, we've just recorded the podcast on it, so that's really cool. But once again, you're stuck in the room. You can't go and investigate the whole place because it's empty.
We might be able to go downstairs. We can ask them once we're there.
I doubt in that location because it's such a busy place. We can ask. Yeah, probably charge us more. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, send through your suggestions of places in the UK that we can hire where we could stay for the night, just us, that is notoriously haunted.
Yes, where would you like to see us spend a night?
Would you like to see us at 30 East Drive at the Pontefract House? I know Auntie Anne would. Anyway, let's get off to a song. As I said, tonight's songs have been brought to you by Lisa, one of our regular listeners. She's chosen all of these for your enjoyment. So let us know what you think of them. We'll be back after this song. I've got to turn that music off, otherwise we get demonetized very quickly. Stay in room 4 of the Black Swan Hotel. And now I saw Jamie and Sherpa stayed in that room. The Black Swan Hotel. And then Devise, is that what they call Devise?
There's a Black Swan in New York. So is that the one you're talking about? And I don't know where. I know there's another Black Swan somewhere.
I'll have a quick look on here.
But I know the Black Swan is one of the most haunted hotels around the York area.
Black Swan. I'm just trying to keep that down so it can't hear it. Swan. Oh, there it is. Device. We'll pop that in and we'll see. Google Maps can't find it. We'll take that one out. Okay, so that's actually down near Gatwick. Oh no, that's Gatwick. No, it's over towards where the Ancient Ram Inn is. So that's doable.
Mm-hmm.
But once again, we can't get the whole place. We can only get our room, which is still better than nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your thoughts? Text through.
Yeah,
Is it worthwhile spending £300 to stay at a location we've already been to before where we didn't have much activity, or should we wait till you do your story about it?
Yeah, my story has a bias attached to it, though.
Right, your bias.
No. The person that owns the place.
Oh.
His bias.
Is it the new one or the old one?
The new one. Well, the same one.
The movie producer guy. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I really want to go and do it, but is that just ego? Because it's a notorious place and it's so cool to be able to say, oh yeah, we spent the whole night there by ourselves. Would the Ancient Ram Inn be a better one to do? A jail would be awesome, but how much does that cost for a night?
Well, I know Alison and Cag stayed at Nottingham, at the Nottingham somewhere or other in Nottingham,
right?
Jail place. The Galleries of Justice or something or other. Okay. They stayed there overnight.
Okay. So maybe we should approach them. Because we wanted to go to Nottingham, Sherwood, get back into the forest.
Yeah.
It's a conundrum. It is an absolute conundrum.
Unfortunately, these things are.
See, the problem
is just like you guys wanting to go and investigate somewhere, and you kind of asking the same question: can we go on our own? And people are saying, no, you can't unless you've got £300.
So Catherine suggested maybe we should share the investigation with another team, and we thought of Alison and Kate because they are very like-minded with us. But the problem is, we only arrive in on the Thursday before Beth's wedding, which is on the Friday. And then they fly out to Ireland after Beth's wedding. So we completely miss each other.
Unless there is another team in England that wants to do it on the
if it's another team, remember what that other team was like?
Yeah, I know.
They took over and we just got pushed over to the side, regardless of the fact we paid our share. So, hang on. No, that's all right. I would love hang on, I think you can still hear me, but we've lost the camera. Just let me see what's going on with the camera. There we are. Don't know what happened. Let's see if I can get back onto that camera. I think I moved the... All right. Sorry, guys. Oh, God, we're about to go live. We're back. Sorry about that. But I'm willing to put my hand in my own personal pocket to get the right place. If we've run out of money as Frightfully Good, I'd be willing to pay for it just to have a location. But I'm not rich. All right, here we go. And welcome back to Spooky Sundays. And a huge thank you to Thrive. The words are hard, and there is an explanation for that. Thanks to Thrive Broking. So don't forget, guys, if you are looking for finance for whatever it is that you're just running a little bit short just at the moment to be able to get, talk to Emma at Thrive Broking, and she'll take all the scariness out of it for you and explain what you need to do and the best way to do it. So thrivebroking.com.au and speak to Emma and tell her that the Spooky Hauntings did send you. All right, we've been having a little bit of a debate, not a mass debate, but a bit of a debate off air about, should we hire somewhere and share it with another team, or, and as we said, we would have liked to have done it with Alison and Cag, but they're flying out to Ireland, where we've just flown back from, and we just miss them. We just happen to miss them. So, yeah, we've just got to find the right location, don't we, Renata?
We do.
Now, I'm just grabbing my books, and I was hoping Renata would have filled for me there.
That's okay. We are now doing the ABC of superstitions, and you are up to the letter...
Oops, I nearly knocked over my bottle of water there.
What letter are you up to? T?
T.
T. Okay.
We're going for touching.
Touching. Okay.
Do you remember what the topic was, Renata?
Yeah, touching dead people.
Yeah, touching dead bodies. Thought you might like that one.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to entice you with a bit of information.
I'm interested.
Now, you know that in earlier times, there was the tradition of laying out the person in the house.
Yes.
And that's where they would await before they go to the burial.
Mm-hmm.
And it was quite customary for people to come and visit the deceased person. And you were expected to invite people into your house to view the said person, and you can't turn away anyone. Even if they didn't know them, they were still allowed to come into the house,
so
apparently.
Strangers
as
dead
well.
body down the street, I want to have a look at it.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it was expected that you should touch the corpse.
Oh, okay.
And it was actually a great offence if you didn't touch the corpse.
Wow.
So, and also, I thought you'd like this. They called it the death chamber. Do you like that?
That's terrible.
Instead of the morning tea room or the parlour room, it was the death chamber. So, now I've been underlining bits and pieces. Oh, I've lost it now. All right. So there's even talk here of. Now, I do want to give you a little bit of a heads up here. This might be a little traumatising to some people, so please just be aware. It's not too bad, but we are talking about death, and that does upset some people. There was a custom in numerous districts. In 1959, a Birmingham man whose employment caused him to visit houses regularly stated that he and his colleagues were instructed by their employers to miss from their rounds any house where a death was known to have occurred. Now, the reason they did this is that they were expected to visit the dead and to touch the dead, and they didn't want to. And they didn't want to cause embarrassment or upset for the family because, they're coming in there to fix the plumbing or the pipes or read the meters, and you were expected to come in and touch the dead body.
Oh.
Now, this actually led to a little bit of a problem in some cases. There was a Hertfordshire child who died of diphtheria in the early years of the 1900s, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, of course, everyone is going to come and pay their respects to the family because it's very traumatizing when you lose a child. But they were all coming in and touching the corpse of the child that had diphtheria.
Mm.
So then that, of course, leads to spread of the disease or possible spread of the disease.
Yeah.
This is all things they weren't thinking about at the time. So there's various reasons as to why you should do this sort of thing. Apparently, it would prevent the person, so if you were the person touching the deceased, it would prevent you from dreaming of that dead person.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if it was in Scotland that this happened, it would prevent you from being haunted by that person.
Yeah.
The Cornish people say that the touch of a dead person gains you the strength of the person that's died.
Well, we all know about that. The
Highlander.
hand, no, the hand, the one that you take from a thief.
Oh, yes.
It's that hand.
Glory.
Hand of glory.
Hand of glory. Which means something completely
Hand of glory. Yes.
very different these days, doesn't it?
Yes.
Particularly if there's
So
a hole in the wall.
if you put the hand of glory out while you are doing the thieving, you become
protected.
invisible.
That's right, you're protected.
You become invisible.
But there's also the whole Highlander movie where that if you slayed the other person that had the power, you gained their power.
Yes.
Bloody Hollywood. I don't think they read about that.
I
back
love
then.
that movie.
I did too. Sean Connery.
No. Oh, well, yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
In some parts of northern England, it's supposed to show that no ill will existed between the visitor and the dead. It was an act of courtesy. It was a Cheshire village. Now, this is really sad. Just before 1939 war, children were carefully trained to perform the rite simply because it was held to be polite to do so. So they're actually trained to go and view the dead body and how to touch it correctly and pay their respects. Wow. Now, it's also known from earlier times as well, but this is a really juicy one. You're going to like this. I think I'm actually holding her attention here. She hasn't gone.
I'm being
I've
very
seen the phone.
good.
The phone is ready for TikTok. I can see it.
No, I'm watching everyone that's watching.
Okay. If they had the corpse of a murdered man, right?
Yes.
If you touched that body and it bled when you touched it, that meant you were the murderer.
Right.
The body is letting you know, the spirit of that person is letting you know that's the person that killed them.
Oh, gee. That could turn out very bad.
Yeah, so the willingness to take part in the thing of touching the body was an indication of innocence. So if you're willing to do it, then you must be innocent. But of course, if you refuse to do it, that was almost proof that you were guilty, or at least they'd have a very strong suspicion that it was you. Prisoners charged with murder were sometimes forced to touch their supposed victims as part of evidence for or against them. Now, there is in the wonderful Discovery of Witches in the County of Lancaster. That's riveting reading from 1613. I know. Well, it's about Janet Preston.
Yes.
And she was tried at York for the murder by witchcraft of Mr. Lister. She was made to touch his body, which bled as soon as she laid her hand upon it.
Oh.
I know.
Wow, there you go.
Or so the judges reported back. Yes. This says the writer of the book. Oh, now you're going to like this. I'm going to read you some old Englishy.
Okay.
Hath you been held a great argument to induce a jury to hold him guilty, that shall be accused of murder and vassaldom, or no you failed in the trial?
Right.
I've got no idea. 2 centuries later, the same belief evidently existed in Oxfordshire. For when in 1828 William Eden was murdered near Thames, his widow summoned the man to touch the corpse. He refused to come and touch the dead body, therefore confirming her suspicion that he was the murderer. And sometime afterward, his accomplice made a full confession, saying, yes, it was him that did it. And both men were hanged for murder 2 years later.
Oh, wow.
So I reckon that the accomplice was the one that murdered them. And he thought, oh, I can get off because he's already touched the corpse or refused to touch the corpse. And so now they think it's him. So I'm just going to say, oh, yeah, it was him. It was absolutely him.
Yeah.
But he got done as well. Did you like that one?
I did. That was good.
Oh, thank you. I did have some more in the other book.
I like the nice and juicy ones.
I know, you like it a bit gory, don't you? Where was my other little book?
I like the story of the Soul Eaters.
The Soul Eaters?
Yeah, they came in and they had to, there was something about eating bread off the corpse. The Sin Eaters, that's right, it was the Sin Eaters. And they would ingest the sins of the dead and make him pure by eating food off the corpse. And this was a job.
Wow. And I suppose it was a way for the poorer people to get a feed.
Yeah. Yeah, we might have to look into those weird and wonderful
Yeah.
wacky facts from the medieval times.
I have a little bit extra here.
Okay.
The moment death has taken place, superstition insists that the eyes, if still open, must be closed.
Mm-hmm.
So you would have to close their eyes, or the gaze will summon another person who is present to accompany the departed to the grave. In some countries, the eyes are prevented from reopening by covering them with coins. Now, some people used to say that was to pay the ferryman to get them to the other side, the river Styx, but it was actually because I think some people found it disturbing that these eyes were open and just staring dully.
Yes.
Distraught friends and relatives should not allow their tears to fall upon the body, as their distress is believed to trouble the departed soul, which could be a possibility.
Yeah.
Scottish tradition indeed discourages mourners from crying at all,
Oh.
and from any stage during the funeral. Touching the corpse is recommended as it brings living good luck and will, it is alleged, save them from nightmares in which the dead person appears, which is what I said in the other one. The touch of a dead person's hand, particularly one who has died a violent death, may indeed prove of benefit to various medical conditions. I know.
Oh. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, that's no good.
Yes,
Because that means they're going to lose their hands.
I've got an infected wisdom tooth. I'm just going to take this dead person's hand and I'm going to get it to touch up into there and it'll all be healed.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, look, it could work.
It could. You could die with them as well. All right, we're going to head off to a song. I hope you enjoyed the ABC of Superstitions. We'll be back next week with another one. But coming up after this, we've got the spooky chat. It is time to send your questions through to 0490848886 and we will answer them live on air. Enjoy this song because I know I will. Awesome, guys. So we are now going off air. Normally we only go on for the first 15 minutes, but lately we've been doing 30 minutes. So come and join us live on the Newcastle Live app or Newcastle Live on the website for the rest of the show. We're on here for another hour and a half. Come join us. Thanks for being here. See you soon. Bye.